I was talking to a friend recently, and like most people who love movies, he talked about the lack of quality in films being released today. Now, this is a common sentiment, and I don't want to dismiss it fully. I mean, I've worked on both a streaming film and a series, and right from the jump, it was clear our number one priority was getting it out as quickly as possible. Quantity over quality. We were making content that was going to be put on an online library so that the platform could say it had over 100 shows, and you should keep paying that monthly subscription even though you're only going to watch like 5 of them. Not to mention the move towards generative AI and LLM scripts and the capitalist urge to separate the worker from the products that they make. Even with all of that in mind, I don't know. As I get older, I guess I'm growing more and more into an optimist. I think the greatest art is a product of its time, born from conflict, both from without and within. And so the art form, the ways we choose to express ourselves, and how we ultimately consume it all is going to change in ways we're not always going to be in control of. I'm not saying what's happening to our industry is okay, it's not. But I think no matter what, we're still going to make great art. And we have. This year has been one of my favorite years for films like ever. I just watched Begonia, and that was crazy, conflicting, and so fucking beautifully shot. One better after another made me feel like starting a riot. Sinners. I don't have the words to describe how I feel about Sinners. And one of our greatest working filmmakers just released a new piece earlier this year. And I'll bet money you haven't seen it yet. That's the problem. All of our attention is in the wrong places. Outside of career and film buff circles, I don't think I've heard mention of Park Chan-wook. And that's a shame, because he's arguably the most impressive filmmaker working today, managing to make these visually dense, violent tragedies that hide subtle studies on love and consequence and power at their centers. No Other Choice, his newest piece, adds to a growing list of anti-capitalist films talking about class struggle and the disposable nature of any workforce under the system. But it goes beyond that, managing to also present a darkly funny study on love and trust as Yoo Man-soo compromises his marriage and his soul, mourning the loss of his identity as a provider while driving himself further away from his family, from his wife, in a deeply ironic attempt at being a better father, a better husband, a better man. I admit, calling it a rom-com might be a stretch. Side note, I'm so happy I'm finally at the age where I don't feel the slightest embarrassed by the fact that the late 2010s rom-com boom defined my formative years. For better or for worse, films like 500 Days of Summer, I Think I Love My Wife, Ruby Sparks, 10 Things I Hate About You were my personality. And though Hollywood has turned its back on the genre, I think in essence it still lives on. It's just the romance isn't as simple as it used to be. I think the best example of this is one of my favorite films of the last decade, Sanctuary. My pitch for that film is, imagine a romantic comedy without the romance or the comedy, adding to a list of films I affectionately call fucked up little love stories. Hal Porterfield, heir to his late father's hotel empire, tries to end his relationship with his dominatrix, but she doesn't let him. Insulted by how easily he pushes her aside, by how quickly he treats her as an inconvenience for the life he's trying to lead, she blackmails him, pushing him to his limits in the hope of forcing him to see the beauty in the relationship that they've built together. It's a violent movie about 2 depraved and indulgent people finding solace and acceptance in each other, and it's one of the most romantic films I've ever watched. No Other Choice gave me a similar high that I was so surprised with. It opens with Yoo Man-soo barbecuing eel for his family on his wife's birthday. His house is big, his wife is beautiful, his children are happy. What more could a man ask for? Except, over the next few days he loses his job, puts his house up for sale, starts suspecting his wife of cheating on him, and grows distant from his children. What proceeds is Yoo's attempt to claw his life back, or more accurately, his belief of what his life should look like, of his place in the social hierarchy, his role in his family. For this, he's willing to kill. Again and again and again. I call it a rom-com because at the heart of the genre is the pursuit of love from without and from within, and the disaster that ensues as a character attempts to confront every obstacle standing in their way. Yoon-soo is trying to get back home to his wife and the life they shared, and standing in his way is a system that has deemed him worthless in comparison to the competition. So he decides to rig the system in his favor. But with each act, he widens the gap between him and his family by moving further and further away from the man he once was. His core flaw is that he can't imagine a life other than the one he's lived. He can't imagine being loved if he's anything other than the man he used to be. Great art holds a mirror up to its audience. I think this is why the rom-com as a genre died out, or at least moved to Netflix, which is basically the same thing. A quarter into the 21st century, with threats of climate change going completely unheeded, the threat of fascism looming over or already eroding through every democratic nation, as billionaires gleefully gamble with all of our lives for the sake of a profit that they might not live long enough to see. It's understandable if love and the pursuit of love isn't able to get people out of their houses and into the cinema anymore. The romance we now see on screen is less forgiving, more brutally introspective, and damning of the age of consumerism and nihilism. Because the rom-coms of old were for the Obama years, the hopeful years. We're past those now.